that. So hello, everybody, and welcome to Fridays at 5. I'm Karen Taylor of the Color Vowel Chart. It's Friday. We are sharing. It's show and tell. So it's just a great excuse to come together, share what we've been doing. And I thought I'd get started. I will get the ball rolling in a moment, but I thought I'd start by mentioning just heads up that next week's theme is looking good in front of the camera, meaning we spend so much time online, and some of us have businesses. I know Liz does, and others are maybe, well, for whatever reason, we need to look our best at times, right? Or we just need to look our best in terms of lighting so students can see us. So next week is all tips on looking our best in front of the camera, and we'll promote it as one where you can be ready to run around and go find that lamp, that standing lamp, or we'll actually do it as a bit of a real work kind of a session to improve. And if you have done this kind of work, get in touch with me, let me know, and I'll be sharing what tips I have. And I know Liz has spent a lot of time figuring out her lighting with glasses and things like that. So
yeah, I still don't know the answer. I'm dying to wear contacts so I don't have, because I still am always like glaring. But.
Mm-hmm. Well, but it makes you look like a character. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we'll work on that. So that's next week's session. Also, next week before that session is our next pure English practice session, which will eventually become the acronym PEP, Pure English Practice. PEP. So we're heading toward PEP. And what's changing, partly to maintain my own sanity, is, and that's what I'll share in a little while, is I'm developing, I'll dare call it a lesson outline that I'll share a week in advance, so that teachers who are sending their students will know in advance what we're doing. And some of those items will link to existing videos. And then they can come with some anticipation and also with questions about that, let's say the grammar that's embedded or the pronunciation feature that's embedded, so forth. So
Great.
I plan to share that. Okay. And I know Liz is going to share something today. Jean's sharing something today. You may think of something you want to share. Stories.
I have one thing that I learned this week, which is that to keep yourself from being tired on Zoom, what you do is you hide self-view. And apparently that keeps you from, I don't know, fixating on your own face all the time. And you can interact with people like normally, because there's something about seeing yourself that is disturbing. That's what I have been told. I don't know if it's true. But
wine helps.
Wine is good.
It doesn't help.
So if you hide self-view, the next few times you Zoom, see if that makes you less twitchy or exhausted or something.
It looks like you can do that by clicking on the 3 dots, and then that's
there's a thing in your where'd it go?
Hide self-view.
So how do you bring yourself back?
Oh, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, right now I just hid myself, and it's kind of peaceful. I have to say that's true. But then if I go to my own video, I can go back and say, nope, don't find it there. All right, well, that's the end of that.
Well, maybe if you go to participants, at that point you can.
No, it's not. I clicked on more, and all I can do is rename myself. Robin, that was a dirty trick. You got us all to eliminate.
Well, I can't find how to do that. So
click on your name. Click on your name.
It's not under
your name. Oh, well, wait. I can't do anything to my name either. Why not?
I don't see my name.
Look in chat.
I don't have a name anymore.
In
chat? I'm not there.
No, I'm
in
not
participants.
Participants.
You go in participants.
Nope, doesn't do anything. So, well, that's neat.
Well, that's mysterious. I don't know why this is different in this particular Zoom from the last Zoom that I was in, but there it is.
Try and Control Z and it doesn't work.
Well, but okay, wait, I have a question.
Okay, Liz is the expert. So
here comes Susan. Maybe she knows. She's a Zoom expert also.
I stopped my self view and now, but you guys can still see me, right? Even
Yes,
though I
yes,
can't
we
see
can.
myself.
But how did you stop your self view? Because I can't find it on this Zoom screen.
Don't do it. You'll never get yourself back again. I'm telling you. Videos.
I'm gonna look it up.
Google says click the view button in the top right corner and click show self view.
Oh, there you go.
Is it there?
I'm back for myself. Great.
Jean's a fast Googler.
Susan, you never know what you're going to walk into at these crazy sessions of ours. Well, hey, I'm going to get the ball rolling. Hear what's going on out there. And let's see. I know, Liz, you signed up and raised a hand. What do you have on your mind?
Well, I have a show. First thing I want to show is back in the day, if you all remember when there were stores and people used to go to stores and, you know, there'd be like a little bulletin board with brochures and stuff like that. And I used to have these brochure holders and put my brochure in there at the Japanese grocery store here. And they're like, you can get them at office stores, but of course I got mine at the thrift store for 50 cents. Anyway, I realized the other day after the last show and tell, I think somebody was showing her system of keeping the cards handy. And I realized that it was just the right size to hold them. And so what I did, so I can find the one I'm looking for, is I took each one and made a little label for it. I don't know why it won't focus good, but I just took like a, uh-oh.
I spotlighted you.
Oh, I can't
you
see
not
myself anymore.
see
Hold on.
yourself? All right, I'll remove this.
Robin, what kind of, no, I found it. You can go back.
Okay, I'm going to spotlight you.
So I did them in order of, you know, like how we introduced the chart. So this is green and I put a number 1. So when they get all messed up, I can redo them. And then silver is 2 and then
That's
gray is 3.
brilliant.
So like, you know, I can just see which one I want and pull it out. And then at the end of the lesson, I can put them back to where, like, not that they have to be in a certain order, but they line up so that it's like 3 groups of 5 that way. And then I just keep them in that, and then that goes on my desk. And then I have names for everybody in my, when I do classes, when I have more than literally like more than 2 people, I have a card for each person so I can make sure to call on, you know, make sure everybody gets turns. And so I just keep all these cards, which are just old name cards with a sticker on them. And I keep those in there too. So that's my show. But then I had another like a little,
I love it. I love the card holder. I need that.
I think we need to make comments for just a second, Liz.
okay.
We're all so excited. I needed you last time I did pure practice. I was fumbling through all my cards and dropped them on the floor, and they were out of order, and I got kerfluffled about it. So that's brilliant. I'm going to be
Well, and then my other thing along those lines is I found a metal, like it's a hanging, one of those old fashioned signs, and it's metal. It's like, I don't know, tin or something. It's you can put a magnet on it though. And so I turned it, it's tied up there, so I can't take it off, but I turned it around. So this is the front of it. And then I just turned it around and hung it. Oops, let's see, what am I pointing at?
Oh,
there. So I have this hanging where I can reach it. And then I took the chart and I put a little strip of a magnet on the back of it.
nice.
So that I can just like
Grab it.
put it there. And I also have pictures of my new students because I always forget their names, with a piece of a magnet on the back. And then I just, you know, I can just set it there, and I don't have a good camera angle to show you, but I'm into like using magnets, so I can just like whoop, grab something and then stick it back.
So you can just take the no parking sign down from in front of your building and hang it on the
I can't
your wall.
recommend that. I can't sanction that.
That was brilliant though. I like all these. I really like those organizational hacks because it doesn't
You
come.
could use aren't whiteboards magnetic? I
Yeah,
mean, you
Matt.
just get one of
Well,
those.
my
Mine
whiteboard,
is.
Some are.
my
So you could
whiteboard
get a
is
small
here.
whiteboard and hang that too.
Some of them are, and
Some
you
are.
can also get pens that are magnetic and erasers that are magnetic.
I didn't know that.
And this is a stand. I bought this whiteboard
Lakeshore.
with a stand at Lakeshore, and see, there's like a little slot there, so you can just
Oh,
set it in there, because otherwise it will get covered by all the other flotsam and jetsam on my.
flotsam and jetsam. That happens to me all the time. They get slid somewhere, and anyway, yeah, definitely neat.
Okay, so any other comments or?
Lakeshore Learning is my new target.
Oh, I love it. It's so, I'm so glad
I
it's
have
not
not,
really near.
I'm not familiar with it.
Oh
You
my
just go to their
gosh,
website and buy everything. Is that
Yeah.
what happens?
pretty much, yeah. They have
It's a-
stores too. And we
Oh.
have one here in Atlanta. Luckily, it's here in Atlanta, so I can get to it, but it's far enough away that I don't pass it very often, which is good, because I always walk out of there with like all this stuff. The school box, Robin?
No, I'm
store?
not familiar with that.
School
That
box?
went out of business, didn't it?
A lot of them did, but Lakeshore is so much better. I love it because it has, like, instead of cutesy kiddie things, it's a lot of photograph based things. So I use their things a lot for adults.
It's school supplies for all ages, all disciplines, and there's one in Alexandria. If you feel like traveling, I don't know if there's one up in Maryland anywhere. I'm sure there is, but
So
This is great.
Karen, can I show my other thing now?
Sure,
Or are we gonna run out of time? We're okay, right?
we're okay. Jean is our other person up, and so that's your heads up, Jean, that you're next.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Jean, because I have to prepare for 2 other classes tonight. So I kind of might have to leave a little bit early, but in our pronunciation courses, I've been focusing on reduced stress syllables, schwa, and they're really hard because, my Japanese learners, who are most, like 99% of my students are Japanese, and they're very literate, very much in tune with what the word looks like, even when they're not looking at it. When they say a word like pilot, they see it, P-I-L-O-T, and it's pilot. And so it's all about, like, kind of tricking them into not, into accepting that their brain is not doing them any favors when it does that. So I'm sure you have a better way to explain that, Karen. I know
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I like it.
I know that you want to talk about Pierre's place, which is what I call Broca's area. It's more catchy. Did you know his first name was Pierre?
Yes.
Pierre's place.
I like that a lot.
Okay, how do I make this thing go away? Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so we're not going to use these, I decided, but we're going to use these. These are like 2-syllable words that have one unstressed or one reduced stress vowel. Let me make.
I like that first word because it starts off
Yeah.
looking like apple, applaud,
Yeah.
applaud.
Okay, so this is column 1. This is the first syllable reduced. So the first syllable, is the first part. And if it's reduced, that means it's a schwa, which is a. And what sound is a, everybody in my class? In the color
cup
vowel
of-
chart.
Oh, what color
Cup
is
of
it?
Mustard.
It's
Cup of mustard.
It's a cup of mustard, but it's a very teeny tiny cup of mustard. Okay,
It's the
so
of.
we talk a lot about how tiny the cup of mustard is. It's almost imperceptible a lot of times. You can't even see the mustard in it.
Just like
Okay,
now
so-
is itty bitty purples, right? They're smaller than the purples, right?
Right. So everybody, if you think that the reduced syllable is in the first, the reduced vowel is in the first syllable, then hold up one finger. And if you think it's in the second one, hold up 2. So I'll do the first couple. Applaud, that is in the first syllable, so I'm going to put it there. Okay, what about this one? And say it out loud to yourselves, guys. You can either mute or unmute. Okay, hold up your finger. 1 or 2. Okay, 1. Everybody said 1. What about this one?
Motion.
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 What about this? System. Yeah, try it with your hand. Good job, Susan, using her hand. And then we're going to put here. I'll probably say them as I pull them out in case they don't know how. So anyway, we're going to do supply, and we'll pretend that we've gone through all. Wait, am I doing this right? So wait.
No, that was right
It's-
before.
It's hard to think about it reduced.
Yeah,
My brain is going first syllable stressed, second syllable stressed.
yeah.
And it's hard to think it's the opposite of.
Well,
Right.
yeah, so maybe I
opposite of
should
my
change
hand.
it. Maybe I should change it, but you know, you can't necessarily, it's not the process of elimination, because you have some words that have 3 syllables
Mhm.
or
Right.
5 syllables, you know, so maybe I'll just put, well, I'm not sure how I'll do it, but anyway.
I think leave it like that. I think it goes against what we're thinking.
You've got to
Our
really
first
think
thought-
twice.
Yeah, we think about it twice, but I think that's legitimate. We figure out the stress first, then we figure out the reduced, and I think they can deal with that.
Right. It's
I like it.
its own special mental trick, right? It's a little
Yeah.
additional calisthenics.
So, but the real thing is, once we get them all in the right category, we're going to flood like this. So everybody, don't worry about the spelling, but just trust me. I'm telling you that the first syllable in all these words is a teeny tiny cup of mustard.
They're all the same.
Okay, so let's do it together. And well, actually, first, I want you to repeat after me. Okay, ready? Applaud.
Applaud.
Marine.
Marine.
Supply.
Supply.
Offend.
Offend.
Support.
Support.
Police.
Police.
Okay. We don't have any special like gesture for a reduced vowel, do we, Karen? Like this is the stress vowel, but this
It's
is
just back.
yeah.
So like banana.
If only we could like shrink our hand or something. Okay,
You
but
can,
now we're gonna fly. Okay,
If
so
you've got the
everybody mute.
class, you can have some people up and some people down. That's all, but that's fun to do.
Oh yeah, the syllabettes. That was a Bill Ackman.
Yeah.
You could
What's
have
that?
your cup of mustard card, and you could hold up the mustard when you
Oh,
say
that's a good idea.
plod, and then you could just do the plod with your hand, but for the you could hold up the cup of mustard
That's a good idea.
as they say it.
That
and my
kind of reminds me of like, so it's something like this. Applaud.
Yeah, but hold the cup of
Applaud.
mustard where they can see it. And then when you, it's good, it's
Applaud.
perfect, Karen. But then when you say the second syllable, drop it down so they can't even see it.
Okay. Applaud.
Perfect.
Applaud.
Marine.
I love that.
Applaud.
Supply.
Yeah.
Offend.
It makes me want to have a color vowel card in the other hand too, so that I would say.
Oh,
something
no,
like
no. Then they
this.
go all over the place.
I would
Okay,
say,
so everybody mute, please. We're gonna flood these together. While Karen practices. Ready? Okay, here we go. Everybody muted? We're gonna make this teeny tiny cup of mustard, teeny tiny, teeny tiny, teeny tiny, the first syllable. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Applaud, marine, supply, offend, support, police. Okay, and then I'll probably get 1 or 2 of you to do it so that I could see if you're doing it right. Now we're gonna do the other column. And this one, the first syllable is stressed and then a. So it's motion, system, comma. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Motion, system, comma, sofa, circus, atlas, carrot.
I don't know that I would move forward with the mustard card at all. I think I just keep it there.
Yeah.
In fact, I might even pull it back a little bit. So it'd be
Yeah.
like motion, like motion,
Yeah.
system, comma. So you give them the idea that it's pulling back.
Yeah, it's always tricky because it's like, you know, telling everybody, don't think about a pink elephant, okay? Whatever
That's
you do,
exactly right. You're exactly right, Liz, because you know, pointing at it or stressing it at all, it defeats the whole purpose of the unstressed vowel. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it does defeat the purpose, but not the complete purpose, because part of my purpose is to get them to make that sound.
That's
even
true.
if
Yeah.
it-
So
even
at
if
least
it's
even
not-
if it's not unstressed, it's still a mustard sound.
It's
Would-
one step in the right direction.
Yeah. And also it makes it raises awareness, even if
Right.
even if they aren't doing it exactly right.
Right.
Can you show us just one more time the Jamboard? I have a thought I want to share, but I need to see a couple more words. My thought is it's still very text bound, and I still feel that there's some place in here I'd have to spend time thinking further, but there's a place where the point could still be missed by the student, I think. Meaning the coin might not drop on what's really happening here. And so I'm wondering what if you do something like this with your cards is you're gonna start, now you can stop share so I can share what's in my screen. What if those cards had something like this on them? And you told them, now it's got a little bit of mystery to it. You're going to tell them that each time they see a line, it's that little mustard. And that's kind of hard because you're going to have to change some of the spelling a little bit. I see that now. But if you get them to do this, motion, plod, marine, and you do the lines, you can't do underlines in Jamboard, is that right?
Right.
Right. Okay. So I'm not quite sure, but my point is
I think you can do a hyphen though, right?
marine, a hyphen to show where the stress is.
No, a hyphen just to eliminate the vowel, something instead of the vowel. You know, a blank.
I
Right,
think she's
that's what
talking
this
about
is.
underlining the stressed letter. You
Yeah,
can't, you can't have an
exactly.
underlined stress.
Right.
You can do the underscore character, but
not
you
with the letter.
can't go, you can't underline AU like in
Yeah.
applaud.
Meaning,
Right.
Can you
I
change the
wonder-
font size?
Mm,
No.
Not on the sticky notes. The sticky notes are just one size fits all.
Well, I
the
don't
more-
know if, I don't
the
know if
more
you want to
letters-
change it.
Sorry,
yeah.
Doug, the more letters you put on, the smaller the font becomes, but you
Right.
can't change it yourself.
right.
Sorry,
But I,
Doug.
I
guess
like the idea of make it blank, because then they don't know what the spelling is, so they won't feel that they need to fill it in with a different vowel. It's all going to be
Yeah.
mustard. Yeah.
Or the
I
other
like
way, if this is tricky, because I realized, motion's a perfect example where you take out those letters and suddenly now you've got moten, if they're
Yeah.
guessing by decoding, now it's messed up. But my other thought was, I would want them to listen first. Like, are you hearing da or data? And I would start
That's-
with just 2-syllable words.
You would
Right.
or you wouldn't.
I would, because,
But I did. That is
right,
what we
and
did
no,
for-
I'm just talking
Yeah,
about.
but
the rest of
but
the
don't
cards.
show them what they are.
Yeah, don't show them. So now it would be, I think there's a pre-screen that's just listening. There's
Yeah.
da and there's
Well-
da.
You know. Okay.
Okay, and then the dots are the schwas, and then you go in and assign the dots. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
there's still some piece missing that,
Well,
let us know how it goes, but
For what
very-
it's worth, for my students, like I said, they're very text oriented. So I think it's gonna work, but I will let you know.
Okay.
Liz, when you gave your example of pilot, did you have them close their eyes and do it? So that might be an
No.
option for you too.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I really like this activity. I
Yeah.
think when you look at first syllable reduced, after you figure it all out, then maybe a different sticky note, you stick it on top of the word that says reduced and replace it with a cup of mustard. So then it just says first syllable cup of mustard, second syllable cup of mustard, instead of using the word reduced, and then it gets straight to the issue.
Yeah.
There you
That's a
go.
good
That might be it. That's neat. That's really neat stuff, Liz. I love what you're doing in Jamboard. Any
I
other
like it. Yeah.
big visual applause?
And then you could go backwards from from spelling, because my students have a trouble, how do you spell schwa? Right? So now you're listening to pilot. Okay, now, how many different ways are there to spell that sound? And you've got A, E, I, O, U, and I, O, like motion, and so forth.
Well,
Spelling
yeah.
awareness.
I actually, I'm sorry if you just asked a question. I have another question. Can I was wondering if you guys, like, sometimes I'll replace, the vowel with a U in order to get them to, say pilot, or, when you're linking words, instead of saying, it's all about, and then it's right, it saw, to kind of trick them into saying it the right way. But I often wonder when I'm doing that, yeah, as long as it's spelled that way, they do it. But then as soon as it's spelled the right way, they can't do it again. So, like, you guys have any opinion about whether that's a useful?
I think it's useful
thing to
because
do?
then they remember that that's the option. I mean, if they're so text bound, then they're going to remember what you did by moving the S to get the next word.
They
So
don't
if they're
And it may not-
visual
it-
in
yeah.
that way.
And it may not take right away, but if you do it as a strategy consistently, eventually I think it might sink in that they're going to take that last sound in the previous word and kind of push it to the next one, and you keep that vowel longer. I mean, it
Right.
creates that connected rhythm.
Yeah, at least with linking, I don't know if substituting the letter U is going to work, but definitely that linking works with my students, because they wind up doing it themselves when they're sort of marking up a text.
Mhm.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know whether you're doing the U when you're on a whiteboard or in a
On a
PowerPoint or
document.
whatever, but maybe instead of using the letter U, use the mustard icon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Teeny tiny.
The teeny
Tiny.
tiny. Like
In PowerPoint, you can
now's
fade it
little
too.
symbols.
What, Paul?
In PowerPoint, you can fade it. You whether it's the OT or just a U.
Yeah.
So you can do them as builds
Oh, really?
Yep.
I'm not
or
very good at
transitions.
PowerPoint.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, I could do PowerPoint one day.
Yeah.
Are you
Oh,
good
yeah,
at that, Paul? Are you
I
a good PowerPoint person?
I used to be.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, I think
The heat's on, huh?
I never learned how
Friday
to
at
do
5,
that. So
Paul.
Okay.
you know what else you could do, Liz? You could have, like, remember how you do algebra? You have a box and then you put the missing number in the box. Have a box that you put the missing mustard vowel in, instead of an underline or something.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
about Schwacker goalie? Are you doing any of that? Like, applaud, just getting it back to feeling it rather than, in addition, I would say as a follow-up after all that text work is to take each one as the finishing and applaud and
Yeah.
motion,
Pilot.
pilot.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good
Well,
idea.
I don't know that I would change the words around very much, because you're getting back to that thing where the spelling isn't the pronunciation, and that all the words are really sight words. So you
That's
want
true,
them to
Paul.
learn the sight
Right.
word.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
they see it, they say it. So
Right.
I don't know that I would try to put a lot of dashes or blanks or take letters out, or
Yeah, exactly.
that's depends on where you want to go
Yeah.
with it though.
Yeah. This is the way it's spelled.
Well, and
Regardless.
motion was the perfect punishment for me even trying that. It's just like the second I took those letters out, it's like, oh no, that's not going to go well. So that's great.
Well, what I have done is like highlighted them in yellow, right? So like motion, I would take the IO and do a yellow highlight in it, but that doesn't, nothing has really like been, yes, we get it. But
Yeah.
it's, I just need, I also want to spend more time on it, more attention on it, but then it's also that paradox where, like, the more they think about it, the more they want to say it. But if they get the color right, yeah, that's the step in the right direction.
All right. Well, thank you
Okay.
so much. This is
Can I
great.
ask
Cool.
another question? Not to make it drag on too long, but I need to know if this is heretical because,
Heretical.
Uh-oh.
yes. So if Liz is focusing on the schwa sound and she were doing the open hand, for example, would it be, well, basically heretical if she pulled it back and they made a fist, when they said like pilot, and they could focus on this, meaning like going back and making it mean so that schwa means a certain movement, not just the lack of movement. Pilot. Is that okay?
Burn her at the stake. She's a heretic.
God, I thought we were getting Zoom bombed. That was so weird. Those voices that come in really loud and you're in trouble. It could. The only thing is that we use this for, I have,
Secondary.
for secondary, right? So like
Yeah.
university, I'm sorry, university,
Yeah.
right?
But with a forward motion. Yeah.
If you start getting very stylized, I suppose you
Yeah.
do something like this. That looks very strange in Zoom. I need to hide myself. So
sock puppet.
But
No.
oh gosh. Okay. So like, what was that? Amazing. Definitely you could pay. Just noticing it turning always amazes me when amazing, that kind of a thing. Might just be noticing.
You could color the front of your fingers mustard.
Get a little tiny doll hand and hold
Okay.
the doll hand up.
I'm going to share something as a segue to Jean, who I think is talking about how she's using stickers.
Yes, Jean,
Okay.
save us
So
from this.
as she's very much close to sharing, I wanted to show you what I have in some of my slides, going back to the PowerPoint idea. And it also touches on what Susan said about how we're trying, or somebody said, we're trying to, don't notice the pink elephant or whatever. So with this, this is an exercise that Paul, you'll see later on, but in basics, I walk everybody through what a word is. Here's banana. And then this is for teachers and for teachers who are consider themselves learners. Then we start saying, okay, what's this word? If I tell you that this is where the black is, what's this word? How do you say it?
Tanana.
Tanana, right? And here's
Tanana.
And here's
Tanerna.
So what's so interesting about it is that here's the color and that these are schwa. So we're leaving the letters, we're actually leaving the schwa letters, or the letters that are reduced are remaining, and we're replacing the stress syllable with the color. Does that, I don't know if that lends anything to it, but as I move down and we get into these kind of different forms, the other thing I do to show schwa is this. And that's kind of what Paul was describing, is like using, and also what you're like using yellow, right? And I use even quieter yellow, like I'm trying to not notice it too much. And then I use schwa, I use the symbol. It's the one symbol I use. And I figure students can learn the one symbol for this sound that any letter could be.
I like that, but I don't know if it's because I can,
Speak that.
I'm a native speaker of schwa. So I don't know.
Right,
If that
but
works
I
for other
think
people.
it can be taught. That's the thing, because it's only one symbol. So every time you see this, it's here. Ugh.
How
I
do
don't
you
know,
get
just a
that
thought.
symbol at your fingertips as a font?
There's a
typewriter.
IPA keyboard.
Right, but I mean, can you program that one key? Like, do you have to go through all of that to get to it each time, or can you program it into a
Macro.
like a hotkey or something?
I tend to go straight here to one of the typewriters and grab it, and then I use it. I copy it from slide to slide once I have it. But you saw how quickly I found it. So
Yeah.
I copy it and then I just paste it in everywhere, but I don't know if that'll work on Jamboard. I don't know if you can do that on Jamboard.
I think it will. It's just a character. All right. Well, hey, so that was just a little bit about images. Jean, you're bringing something to the table. Welcome.
Yeah, well, actually, I do kind of have a teeny tiny cup of mustard to offer. Applaud.
Oh, good.
But really, I'm just sharing. These are some mini icon stickers that were inspired by when my teenagers were in middle school and they started studying Spanish, they got one of these sticker sets and they're stuck all over my house to this day. They really got into it. You know, they're on my appliances, they're on the sofa. But I think they felt it was kind of cool, like mom's letting us stick stickers on stuff. But they're a pretty good quality repositionable sticker that didn't damage things.
Ooh.
So I thought it would be a fun way to go around and label some items or vocabulary. And Avery does make a little repositionable sticker. So, you know, you could do classroom vocabulary, but it doesn't damage anything. I mean, fingers crossed, but.
Oh, I
know.
like that. Just go around and
Yeah.
color every object in the house.
Yeah. So if you had your, you know, a classroom and you had, you know, classroom
Toothbrush.
vocabulary, yeah, blue moon toothbrush. So this is a little more vocabulary than pronunciation, but I like that if someone's trying to learn vocabulary, it doesn't, you know, these actually give you the word you're trying to come up with. So you can kind of cheat in your mind, but this just gives you a clue. You're like, what is this? It's
Yeah.
blue moon. Oh, toothbrush.
Yes, I love it.
But
I
it
love
could
Like our
also,
drinking game.
it could also be pronunciation. You know, if someone's having trouble with blue moon book and they're like, no, wooden hook book, you know, a reminder to really pronounce a tricky sound for them.
Yeah.
So I had fun with it. The icons in the digital library are fabulous. If you just download the Avery template, they auto center when you put them in. I did this one in proportion to the brainstorms and the percentages we found in the spelling class. So if you were labeling things,
Yeah.
but then, you know, and then I saw Now's magnets.
Yeah.
So I did a little bigger version, and these are just stickers. So they aren't really as repositionable, but Now and a lot of people on Facebook commented like, oh, the magnets are fabulous, but cutting them out was such hard work. So I don't know if
Definitely.
I don't know if you have round magnets, but if you wanted to print them right on these, then you can just peel and stick. And for a little bit of context, I'm a volunteer tutor. So, you know, I'm thinking about getting back face to face because I'm not really doing anything until next fall when we can be back face to face. But I'm often in like a classroom or a borrowed room at the community center where I don't have tech or whiteboards. I usually bring a flip chart. So I thought if I were writing on a flip chart, you know, you wouldn't have to give it away at first, but even learners could come up and, you know, this is right out of Blue Canoe, but I could really make it look a lot like what they're seeing in Blue Canoe. And, you know, maybe a shy learner or someone who didn't want to write out a word, or they're expecting the teacher to write a word. But if I doled out some stickers and just encouraged people to physically walk up and stick them on things, I think that could be fun.
I love it. I really love it.
Yeah, I love it.
So I
We
like
love
to
it.
do a lot of sorting with
Wonderful.
note cards and things. So again, all of this could be done, you know, with the cards, or, you know, if you've prepped the lesson ahead, which a lot of teachers probably do, you might just do this, you know, digitally. But because I'm tutoring, a lot of times we just go in and what the learner is struggling with, or they encountered a sentence, or they have their child's school conference coming up and they bring something that day. So I thought if I have, you know, a couple sheets of stickers printed up, I would be more able to play it by ear. I think these are actually from Lakeshore, but I have some little things like word tiles, and I thought I might try to repurpose those as some kind of memory game or self-test game just by
This is
sticking
beautiful.
stickers on them. So it's really just a way to make it fun. It's nothing you can't do by printing it out on paper, or a lot of it could be done with these cards. But like I said, because my kids just loved sticking these all over the house.
Yeah. Well, the
made me
removable
go for it.
aspect of it is what, I mean, I would feel terrible distributing things that just would get stuck places forever, but repositional, removable. Now that's, you know,
Yeah, that's important because, you know, a lot of us are in places where you can't put anything on the walls or whatever, you know.
but it's
Yeah.
really neat.
But if you wanted a more permanent one, like you're going to stick on magnets, there's this bigger size, but the one that I found just from Avery at Staples, and they're not super cheap, but they come in a pack of, 1,000. So, for $8. So it's not like you
What
buy them all the
number?
time.
What Avery template?
Yeah.
was it?
So the little repositionable ones are 5408. And they're called multi-use labels. And then this one, which I think might make a good like circle magnet size, or maybe a little like bin label or a note card label. This one is called Avery mailing labels, mailing seal labels. They're like to seal envelopes or flyers. That's 5247. And
Right.
I found, I'm on a Mac, when I downloaded the Avery template and just drag and dropped them from the digital library that we got after level 2, they just auto formatted, auto centered right in there. It was great. And, I did orange door instead of Auburn dog because I'm not an Auburn dog split person, but you could customize it to what you or your learners need.
Yeah, that's great, Jean.
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, that's
I was thinking those little tiles
No.
and even just like word cards, that you buy
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
grocery store or whatever. You could just put out your big cards, your color cards like that on tables, because you're going to be in person, right, Jean? And then give everybody some of those cards, and then they just go and put their cards in the stack in front of the
Yeah.
color that they think it is, and then test them together. Those
Of course,
little
Liz,
tiles.
we do that with your little tiny objects too.
Yeah,
Just put the objects on the cards. We've done that before. Yeah.
Oh,
And then
that's
flood 'em.
another thing. I loved the little tactile objects that was on,
Factory?
I guess that, yeah, and I thought, if you were sorting those into piles or bins or something, that would be
Yeah.
really fun.
yeah.
that would. Yeah, sorting things into bins. I like that.
And then once you get them into the bin, then you flood everything that's in the bin. That's the next step that I always do once we've done that. So then you flood
Right.
it, and you get the same vowel over and over
Right.
again.
Like checking it, but flooding it at, in the guise of checking it, right?
Oh,
Last week,
this is
there-
really neat.
Thanks, Jean.
last week or 2
That
weeks
was
ago, there
great,
was
Jean.
Yeah.
a question about about sorting cards, sorting decks of cards. How many decks of cards of colored out cards are we talking about? How many decks?
Well, one
One.
box contains one full set. So
Right.
here's the box. Yeah.
I
And
have one in
there's
my
two
hand. Yeah.
sides to it, right? Two sides. It's one full deck. It just happens to come, packaged as flat as possible.
No, but the issue is how do we, if we've merged a couple decks together for some,
Oh, you
Don't
get your 10-year-old or your 12-year-old to sort them on the table. No, I mean, in all seriousness, I've had my daughter and son do that for me a couple times. In the end, it's not, unless you're just, doesn't break the game. I guess
Yeah,
that's,
how do you do it, Paul?
I would say fan it out so you have it kind of staggered, and then just put a magic marker line on each of them. So put one line on one set, two lines on another set, three on the third set, and you have one that's blank. So that way you could just sort just by looking at the ends of them.
listen to me, I'm like, it's hopeless.
But
Like,
but you have to
you can
think in,
prevent it.
think in advance.
Exactly. You
Okay.
can prevent it. That's
We-
brilliant. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
We call
I
that
just made a new
staying ahead
rule.
of the airplane.
When
Yes.
when the new edition came out, I allowed myself to open one. So I only have one in the whole house that's open. And because all my previous edition, I mean,
They're
I had
mixed up,
5
yeah.
decks that were all mixed together, and it was horrible. So that's
But
brilliant.
my students actually really like it if they can match the other card exactly, because that gets them all excited, and they get to choose which side the next person has to follow. But so I matched both, But that's
How do you play Go
unintended
Fish?
consequence.
I'm sorry. How do you play Go Fish using them? Is it? Is there
Oh,
a
do you
way to
play Go Fish? Oh, sure. You can, do you have a blue moon card?
Okay,
And then, yes, I do. And then, then you play your turn when you put down your pair. Blue moon
so it's
soon.
just a pair, not 3 or 4?
Well, Go Fish is usually a pair.
Okay,
I suppose Go Fish, what you have to
You
have
can arrange it
3?
however you want it, I suppose.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's
So
harder
as long
to
as-
get for wood, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah,
But there's strategy, right? Which one you pick to match.
there is
Huh.
strategy. Have you just watched that presentation, Paul? I think I just showed you, mentioned that.
You
Yeah.
just mentioned it in passing, so.
Yeah. So, well, my last show and tell is that I've been recording these new versions of Color Val Basics and been highlighting our games. And so that's what Paul's referring to. And I look forward to, showing everybody in the room what it's like sometime. We'll do refresher courses and whatnot, right, Jennifer? All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody. It is 6 o'clock on the dot here on the East Coast. It's been a lot of fun hanging out. Next week, again, we're going to look our best in front of the camera. So come with your extension cords and whatever else you want to bring.
Your
We'll
plant.
have fun with that. And we'll see you on Thursday evening. Hey, one quick request. If you do plan to come, I'll be sending out a message, but come and be ready to use your cards because I've found it looks really
On
brilliant.
Thursday, you mean?
On Thursday,
On
when you
Thursday, okay.
come, let me show you briefly on the Pure English Practice page, just something that visually is so cool. When you are looking at the video, if you haven't seen this.
Hi there, welcome to Forward. Come on in.
Stop.
I'm Dr. Nate Favini. I'm
Okay, there we go. So when you're in this
That guy
and
is so
you
creepy.
focus, it's neat when teachers will hold up Color Val image cards at certain moments and the whole screen flashes in one color. See what I mean? It's really neat. I haven't quite found the spot, but you see everybody's kind of moving around and then we get to this one moment and their black cat is showing up. There we go. There's Jennifer with her green tea. And here's me with green tea. I was like, who's that? There are other instances though where there are more cards showing up. So it's pretty neat because we can identify the teachers right away. And it just gives another added visual element to the experience. Just a thought. So if you have yours, that would be neat. That's all.
Especially if they're in that nice container that Liz showed us.
I know.
And organized.
Yeah,
I think
Karen.
we should
Yeah.
get them with the little tabs on them when we get them when we buy them. They should have the little tabs already installed. And
Yeah, I'll be the one to put all those little tabs on with tape and then I'll send them to you with a fairy garden and a unicorn.
A fuchsia unicorn.
Were you going to say something? Was that now?
So, and I think teachers should show card like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it shows up like it's like those ball games where you hold up the big card for your team and it all shows up in the stands. That's exactly the image I have now. It's coming right up into the,
Yeah.
So I encourage you to do that. It's, we're creating a culture to the movement. So there we go. Well, thanks a lot for coming. Any final comments or desires for future
Good,
sessions?
good stuff this week. Lots of cool ideas. I want to go buy everything now.
All right. Well, everybody stay safe and have a great weekend. We'll be seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.